Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm really excited because today I am going to be doing the very viral palette tag that everybody's doing right now. The first video I saw that did it, which was the original, was Allie Glines. Her and Samantha March did a collaboration together. And then I've just been watching down the rabbit hole nonstop ever since. I've loved seeing everybody's palettes, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I hope y'all enjoy. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for any new videos that I may be posting this week and any week. All right, let's jump in. So the first tag in this is my newest palette. And this is somewhat of a new release, but I saw it on Mother's Day. We went to the store, me, my husband, and my daughter, and they kicked me out. They said I had to go look at makeup because they were going to get me a gift. So wait till the last second, right? So sending me to makeup was a bad idea, but I ended up getting this Bretman Rock. This is the Jungle Rock Shadow Palette in collaboration with Wet n Wild. And I had been looking at this and considering ordering it, and when I saw it at Walmart, I just thought, well, why not? So the colors are super pretty. I really dig it. I haven't used it yet. I can't wait to play with it, but I will definitely update y'all when I do that because it looks like a lot of fun to play with. And it's a different format for Wet n Wild, so that's what really intrigued me as well. So the second tag is the oldest palette, and almost everybody has said this palette already, but I'm right there with them. It is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Now, it would have been my Naked palette, but I decluttered those about 6 months ago, so I no longer have those. But this one I just cannot seem to part with. It's very dirty, but you can see it's been very well loved. But I still have the little plastic insert. I don't know how, but I do. You can hear my dog back there. He's on my bed. That's what's behind the curtain if you're ever wondering. So clearly the tempera has been my favorite. I've also gone through a lot of the Primavera color, but I love these colors. It spoke to me. It was definitely one of those that I was just like, okay, I have to have it. And this is the first one that I saw when I started playing with makeup and really started getting into it, that was gonna really complement my green eyes. So when I realized that, I knew that I would use this a ton, and I have. Third on the list was the most expensive palette, and a lot of people have been posting two brands, either Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona. Mine is Natasha Denona, and I have the gold palette. And this really is a stunning palette. I've gotten quite a bit of use out of it. They are pricey, but sometimes when you can get the 20% off for the VIB sale, it makes it a little more worth it. I do have the Safari palette as well, and I love that one too. It was kind of a toss-up, but that one's actually on sale right now, I believe, while I'm videotaping this. It might not be anymore, but it was like half off for a while, so I couldn't say that that was my most expensive. So for most affordable, everybody's been posting these two, but it is hands down the e.l.f. Bite Size. Now this is the shade Acai You. I haven't used this one yet, but I actually have the pumpkin spice one on my eyes right now. And I do love these. I've used like 4 different ones so far. I have all of them. I went out and collected every single one because they're just so easy to use. They're literally bite size. I would have used them for smallest palette, but I don't want to double, so I do actually have a small palette, and it actually only has 3 shades, so I feel like in that sense it is smaller, where these ones have 4. So yeah, these are definitely worth it. I recommend everyone go out and buy at least one, because for $3 you're getting something perfect that you can pop in your purse, you can take on an overnight trip, you can take on a trip. It's the perfect little travel companion. For everyday palette, I actually picked the Tati Beauty pressed powder palette. That is a mouthful. The reason I picked this one for everyday was just because it is the most versatile. I mean, you have your mattes, which you can get a full matte look from just this bottom row. You have the sequins, which are really pretty, and those blend out really nicely. You have your metallics, and then you have the glitters. So you can go from everyday soft look to all the way up to glam. And that's all in one palette. So this is a great one to take with you if you're going out of town, if you're going on a cruise, because then you get, you know, your smoky night look, but you can also get your daytime look. So this one's definitely one I haven't gotten to play with a whole lot, but I do love the formula. Tati Westbrook outdid herself with this palette, and I cannot wait for more. I do wish there was some smaller palettes too, because this one is huge. It's very heavy, so it'd be kind of tough to put in your bags if you're packing up for a trip, but it is stunning and it is so worth every penny. For most colorful, I actually have quite a few very colorful palettes. I haven't done a whole lot of colorful looks on my channel yet because I am still very new, but for those of you who actually do know me, I do tend to post some crazy colorful looks. I do enjoy playing with color, but for my most colorful palette, I'm gonna have to go with the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. And this one just has literally one pan of every color. I mean, I have the Flamingo palette from Violet Voss. I have the Bretman Rock. I don't have the James Charles palette, which everybody's been posting that one, but this is definitely my most colorful. I mean, you have a couple neutrals, not a lot, but I feel like this one is even more colorful than the James Charles only because it has different colors. It's not your run-of-the-mill rainbow. So this one's really fun to play with. I've only played with it a handful of times, but I do love it. So for smallest, this one was tricky because the e.l.f. was what I automatically wanted to go for, but instead I went with my little tiny Marc Jacobs The Seduction palette. I don't even know if this one's available anymore. Pretty sure it was at TJ Maxx. My sister actually gifted this to me. She never used it, but it's just this little 3-pan smoky palette. So that's why I decided this was the smallest. It's only a tiny bit bigger than the e.l.f. I mean, it's definitely bigger in packaging, but as far as the pans, there's only 3 colors. So in that sense, it's a smaller selection. So that's what I went with. I really haven't used this. I think I've used the black and I've used the silver, but I haven't really used the white one very much, if at all. I do love the little Marc Jacobs packaging though. It's so sleek. It makes it very fun. For the biggest palette, this one actually, I thought I had one bigger, but I don't. This is the biggest one I have. However, I am obsessed with this palette. I don't see it talked about very much, but it really is a great one. And ColourPop has kind of copied the idea. Like, this brand did it first, but this is the Violet Voss Pro Ride or Die palette. And it is huge. And as you can see, I mean, it's gotten, I don't know if y'all can see it. There's a lot of dust on it. It's gotten a fair amount of use, but it has all your staple neutrals that you could possibly need. Like, I don't even know why I buy other neutral palettes because this one has literally everything. And I love how it's set up. You've got your cooler tones, your more medium tones, and then you've got your warmer tones. Then you go from your shimmers all the way down to your darkest. So now there's a lot of matte and shimmer mixed in, but this whole top row, no, never mind, I take that back. There's a lot of mattes on that top row, but you do go from lightest to darkest. So it's set up very user-friendly. This is great for people who are new to makeup, who just want to play with some neutral colors and kind of get the hang of it. It's great for, you know, people who are pros who have been doing makeup for years. It's just a fantastic neutral palette. This middle row reminds me of the Naked Honey, which I love, and then this reminds me of Smoky. These 2 rows actually kind of have that cooler smoky eye look that you can get out of it. So definitely one of my favorites. I actually need to put this in my rotation again because I do love this palette a lot. So for best memory, this one was hard because I actually had to go back and look at pictures and then go through all my makeup and kind of compare to remember which one it was. But once I looked at the palette, it all came back to me. So best memory would be the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. This is what I wore on my wedding day last year. And this was actually my second wedding. It's my second marriage. And so there's, you know, a lot that goes with that, and there's a lot of feelings and nerves and everything, and, you know, just going back to that day was such a great memory, such a happy day for me. Not only did I get a husband, I gained a daughter who I love more than anything in this world, and this just kind of brings all those happy memories back. So I don't think I'll be decluttering this anytime soon. It has become something that takes me back to a time where I can't think of it without smiling at all. Like, there's nothing about that day. And my first wedding was actually a nightmare. I cried, I was upset. So, you know, being able to look back on that day with happy memories and having a palette that I can attach to that is pretty special to me. So I love this one. So a palette that is worth the hype, which I actually haven't really seen this one on anybody's, it would be the ABH Norvina palette. I love this one, and a lot of people, I think there's like a love-hate relationship with it, but you can get so many pretty looks out of this. It's really great for spring. It's great for fall. You have like a couple of these warmer tones, but then you have those cooler tones with the purples, and I don't know, it's so versatile. I use that word a lot, but it really is just a staple in my collection. I have used this one a ton. It was up there. This was one I actually was in a battle with most used, because I did go through a phase where I just used the crap out of this. It was every single day, all day. I loved it. I wouldn't put it down. That was right after it came out. But as you notice, I have a lot of Anastasia Beverly Hills on here, but that's just because I have a huge amount of their eyeshadow palettes. I'm somewhat of a collector. There's a couple I don't have, but for the most part, almost all. So on the other end of that, it is the palette that's most not worth the hype. Did I say that right? Anyways, this is another ABH palette, and this one to me was so pretty, but I literally have not worn it at all. So I can't even talk about the quality of it, but I just have not reached for it. I know I need to, and I will. I will eventually. I'll have a reason to wear it, but it is the ABH Alyssa Edwards. The colors are super fun, and it's very colorful. I like that there's a lot of mattes, but I have not found any reason whatsoever to break into this. So to me, it's just not worth it. If you have a little bit of color in some other palettes, there's just so many colors in this that can't be worn together. I don't know. It's just not one that's for me, and I don't think it's really worth the hype unless you're a collector, and that's the reason I bought it. I didn't even really want it. I know that's bad. I wasn't drawn to it at all, and not drawn to the color story, but because I'm a collector and it was special edition, I think it's special edition, I don't know, and I wanted to support. I mean, it just but I'm sure the quality is fantastic. I've only heard good things about the formula, so it lives up to the ABH formula. Just the color story is not my thing. For my favorite palette from my favorite brand, this is actually the only palette I have from this brand, but it's one of my favorite palettes in my collection because it's unique. I never hear it talked about. I've seen it once, and that was on Tati Westbrook's channel. She got it in PR, and I was immediately intrigued and went online and ordered it. And this was the only one they had at the time, and since then they've actually come out with 2 more eyeshadow palettes and a face palette. They have lots of lipsticks, so I'm definitely going to be placing an order soon, but it does ship all the way from Sweden, so it takes a while. But this is the Freya Diva palette, and this is from the company Odin's Eye Cosmetics. Super pretty. I love the packaging. It's got, you can't really tell, but it's very textured. I don't even know what that is, but it feels cool. Anyways, I love the colors in here. I just think it's so pretty. Very wearable. These glitters are stunning. Let me see if I can. The metallics are just buttery. So you can kind of see those. Now this one's more of a topper, but the other ones are just really, really pretty. And the mattes are really creamy as well. So there, you can kind of see those. So yeah, this one's definitely more of a topper, but the other three are just really rich, but they're easy to work with. And so if, you know, those darker tones kind of scare you, this one, there is a lot of color payoff and a lot of pigment, but it's easy to go in lightly. It's not hard. You can pick up just a little bit of color if that's all you want. You don't have to go in heavy-handed whatsoever. It's a beautiful palette. Last but certainly not least, it is my most used palette. And like I said, this one was between the Norvina palette and the one that I have here. And a lot of people don't like this palette. I don't quite understand why. It actually went on the Sephora sales list, and I do believe it's on sale on the website as well. But this is the Natasha Denona Safari palette. And this is one that is an all matte palette. I mean, it's all mattes. But these are surprisingly easy to wear, and they're so beautiful. They are amazing. I have not had any issues with any colors I've used, and I'm constantly making just like a really nice matte smoky eye, and I do it daily. This is one when I don't know what else to go to, I just grab this, do a quick matte smoky eye, and I'm out the door. And it doesn't even have to be like really dark. I love going in with like these tones, then I build up these darker ones, and that's it. And then I'll put like this on the eyelid, and then my highlight in my inner corner, and that's it. But you can also do like a cooler tone with these olives and grays down here. And then you've got this middle, which is all warm tones. So to me, this is an amazing palette. I think it's very underrated as well. And I think more people should use this one. I did do a dupe video, and the dupe was only $12. Also very worth it. So I would recommend getting that one. Or if you want to spend the money, this one is half off. So if you prefer getting the name brand and getting that high-end price tag, go for it. But yeah, the colors and the all matte formula, beautiful. All right, you guys, so that is it for today. I really enjoyed that. It made me stop and like reconsider my collection and kind of think about things. I am thinking about doing another one, but like only with drugstore. I don't really have enough yet though. So I'm gonna have to really build my collection up before I get there. There's a lot of palettes I own that I wasn't able to mention that didn't have a tag, but I may have to come up with my own because I think, you know, favorite indie brand should be in there, or favorite indie palette. There's been a couple people I've heard talk about doing just like individual eyeshadows, and I do have a ton of those too. So definitely a lot of things that can be done with that type of video. I really enjoyed making this one. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I will see y'all again soon.